So, as I'm not able to introduce you, I would ask, of course, my guests to introduce herself. And maybe we're gonna start with you. I'm Anne, and who are you?
Hi Anna, I'm Tolganay. As you can see, to start conversation, we really have to drink.
Oh, okay.
I think we all need a little bit of pause, right?
Okay.
My name is Tolganay. I'm an actress, and now I'm also studying directing in Berlin. I truly don't know what I can say and what I cannot. So, maybe you can guess where I'm from.
I should guess.
Yeah, it's on me. Some hint on me. Yeah.
Oh. I'm not sure, and it feels not right to do that, actually.
No, I'm joking. Sorry, I was just joking.
Good. I don't want to.
I'm from Kazakhstan.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I moved to Berlin 2 years ago to study directing at VdFk.
Okay. How do you like Berlin so far? Because I moved here last year.
We heard a lot of cursing word in a film, so I think it's not too much, so it's fucking tough.
Especially the winter. Especially great. Okay, so you gave me a few hints already. Sometimes I have to take notes, just like a little detective right now. Okay, you said that maybe you needed a pause after the film that you saw.
Yeah, because it's gonna be too obvious, but okay. It's too close to me. Everything we saw, I know a lot about it. It's really close to my heart and to all my life. And I know the director, I know the team, I know 90% of actors in this film. 50% of them are my close friends, and I worked with them. They're my colleagues. So it was for me but a little bit hard to detach from everything what was happening and everything I knew about these people and everything I know about this director and his style of working. So I needed a little bit pause to just process everything I saw. And it was intense film in general. I mean, even if you're not from there, it's quite intense.
Were you a part of this movie?
No.
Okay, good. But
I worked with this director, yes.
Okay, interesting. What were you working on together?
We worked on his third film.
What was that called?
It's I think if I'm correct in English, it's a plug in Karatas village. It won some prize in Rotterdam, like a best Asian movie.
Can you tell us more about this movie? I want to get to know you. You have to give me something to
Yes, but I don't remember. No, I remember, of course. I mean, it's his third film. We did it without budget, and I think most of maybe I'm wrong right now, but when I worked with this director, he had no money, and he worked. We all worked with no money, so it's a low budget projects. Even I cannot say for food because it was just boiled eggs from producer. So it was quite, with low budget projects, and he used to work with low budget projects.
Is this also a low budget project that we saw?
To be honest, no, I don't think so, because I saw the companies he worked with, and I know that they're quite successful, and I think he's also very established, quite famous director, and he must be now supported more than in the past.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Thank you. And maybe you can introduce yourself. Hello, who are you?
I'm Rebecca. I'm running a film festival that's focused on Eastern Europe and our eastern neighbors, let's say, from Czech Republic to Uzbekistan. And I was also, for me, it was also an intense experience. This film, I haven't watched it before. Yeah. What do you want to know about me?
I want to know what the festival is called that you are working at and how you came to work at a festival.
It's called Go East Film Festival in Wiesbaden. We're taking place in April and focused on, as I said, Central and Eastern Europe, but also Caucasus, Central Asia, Baltics. And how did I come to film festivals? I studied Slavic literature, and then I focused on film later in my studies and started working at a film festival in Munich as an artist liaison. And I really liked doing film festivals. Yeah. So
Why?
Why? Because it's great.
I'm just asking because it's a very special kind of like form to present films and to discuss them, to watch them, to invite people. So what is so special about film festivals?
I think it gives you a lot of freedom to present films the way you find it interesting, and also it's a nice kind. I have to say, I just like this kind of work where it gets really intense at some point, and then you also get a breather and like you can relax a bit, and then you pick up your energy again and start over and try to reinvent. And normally the people you work with are really great because everybody loves what they do.
Yeah, thank you. Because I really like this like overwhelming part of film festivals when everything like blurs together. Thank you. And so maybe we go to our last guest. I got to know you a few months, I think, ago. There I met you for the first time. But maybe you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Benjamin. I'm a filmmaker and a writer and a kind of visual artist. And that's maybe all.
That's all, but at the same time, it's not all, because you are also part of Revolver, a German film magazine or something. Can you maybe say a few words more about why did you decided to not only make films, but also make a magazine dealing with film?
Yeah, it's true. We're doing that for almost 30 years now, 25, 26 years. And the main reason to do it was when we studied in film school, like you do, we had the feeling that we didn't learn enough. We had the feeling that it was too much linked to industry and not enough to thinking in a deep way about film, but more about, how do we learn to set up a camera and put it somewhere, and not kind of the more complex questions. So we had the feeling it might be fun to ask people who we find great filmmakers how they do their job. And that was the beginning of Revolver. We were 3 people. And then we started just traveling around Europe and asking people questions. And that's how it's going until now. It's a non-profit magazine. We just do it for fun, but we're not 3 anymore. Now we're kind of, I think, 12 people doing it, and it's great fun.
Nice that you're here. It's nice to see you again. So I brought with me a few quick yes and no questions because I couldn't really prepare something. But this was something I could prepare. So first question, are you ready? First question, was it a feature film or a documentary film?
Feature.
Feature?
Feature.
Okay, that was very... Okay, second question. Do humans play a central role in this film?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No animals involved?
A few.
Okay, but the focus was on the humans.
Absolutely. You can see some animals, but they're not kind of the prime.
But the humans sometimes can act like humans, animals also.
Yeah.
So it's a bit confused, but humans.
Yeah.
Okay. Third question. Was there a lot of talking in the film?
Not that much, but yes.
Okay.
As I said, a lot of cursing.
A lot of cursing.
Fuck.
Okay, a lot of cursing. All right. Okay, but was it like? Was there the cursing because of something bad happened, or because the people didn't have another like mode of how should I say that? How to like give room for the emotions? You know what I mean? I want to.
It's a very male-centered film.
Okay, I write that down.
So I think it go like these emotions that you referred to. Yes, that was a way of expressing them, and but also I think the situation led to a lot of it was a lot of bad things happening as also.
But I think we should also say that there is quite some kind of meaningful dialogue in it.
Yeah, that was actually what I wanted to. Aha, okay. Okay, my last yes and no question, but this is interesting. Okay, last quick yes and no question. Does the film draw on a particular genre? Like Western or, I don't know. Ah, okay, you're all like just... What kind of genre?
I would say that comes close, right? Western it's kind of a
really?
More well, it's kind of a mix of different genres.
Yeah, mafia, Western.
Yeah, absurd. For me, it's also a little bit of absurd. Maybe absurd Western, if we can say that.
It also has quite a bit of comedy in it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I was that in. Is it like a commentary on this like Western genre or a parody, or how does it deal with this idea?
I would say you could say that, but it wouldn't. But if we now said yes, it is, you would imagine something wrong. So it is that, but it's not mainly a comedy or something about Western. It's more like a meta Western, maybe.
Meta Western. Satire. Can you speak in the microphone and tell us why you say it's a satire?
Yeah, because it has a lot of it in it. It's not just joke about joke, or it's just you cannot say about these things what's happening there without this satire jokes or this way of filmmaking, because I think it's also for me at least main how you say that main thing that this director does in his films. He laughs about horrible situations. He laughs about impossible situations, impossible acts, people to people, government to people. And that's why I think it's kind of even like something fast, satire, absurd. That's why I'm saying, because it's really hard. I think for me, it's really hard to give one genre to this film. It's combo and yeah.
So there were like certain motives that you could like recognize from, for example, Western movies, mafia movies, and so on.
I was even sitting and thinking like, oh yeah, I mean, it's just it's not parody at all, but you can really pick some moments which reminds you of some big directors like Tarantino or Fassbinder, or you can really see these things, but it also has its own world.
Does it explicitly refer to these filmmakers you just named?
I would say maybe like Tarantino was also an association I had with the absurdity also of some characters, also of some scenes.
The music was
yes, the violence, how it was put into scene, or like yes. So
I would also say Sergio Leone. That's there's very close ties to that, I would say, and also Eastern films. There's these Eastern westerns with Klaus Kinski. There's quite some which have a close connection to it.
And it has a lot to do with the politics, political situation.
Yeah, that's why you said that you felt very close to this film, or was really like too much for you because you felt so close?
Not too much, but I just know everything, and
we will come to that.
a lot of science and music also has some effect on me because it's with this I grew up.
Yeah, we will come to that because it's super interesting. But maybe since I'm a film critic and I have to write about films, sometimes I try to remember like the first scene, because often in movies, like the first scene is pretty important because it's an invitation for like the audience to come into this world or stay outside. But often there are like very important elements right in the beginning. So can you maybe describe to me how does this film invite you? How does it open?
I think there's this why it is hard to put a label on it is already in the first scene. There is a man who looks very like tired, but also very how to say, like he looks dirty, sweaty. He has long hair that's like in streaks, and some kind of fur jacket, but not like an elaborate, like very like self-made almost. And he's in an airport with a yellow suitcase, and it's like it doesn't fit together. Like he doesn't belong there in this empty airport. Actually, like there's almost nobody else. So yeah.
But also, I think the opening scenes also was this landscapes of the country, landscapes, steppe, sunset, and everywhere was like a little mirror. I thought first I thought it's a light, but it was mirror, and there was ethnic music. I don't know if you know this instrument. It's dombra.
Can you describe what is it?
It's like this like two strings.
Guitar-ish?
No. I don't know how which instrument I can say the similarity.
Yeah,
but
okay.
There is two strings and it's quite really ethnic.
And it's also visible.
No, the
You
instrument.
Yeah,
You see it later.
Okay.
It has also role in it.
Okay.
But in the beginning, you just hear the music and you see a lot of landscape of this country, which is also something because it's empty.
And then we go to the airport.
Yes, I think so, right?
And I think the landscapes is interesting because there's quite a bit of them. There's a very strong filter in the color grading, so you have the feeling already of, although it's kind of documentary, it's also very stylized in that way. So and that gives, I think, a good kind of intro for the film, because the film also has these aspects.
So we have like a figure, a character that doesn't really fit into the surroundings that we...
He would fit into the steppe. I think maybe the airport is the...
I think also in general,
character.
everybody is quite like, it's also a bit theatrical for me, how this director works and puts the characters and how they dress and how they act, where they stand, which like what kind of emotion they express. Everything is quite a bit theatrical, and you like that's why I said Fassbinder, because at first you would like say, yeah, I know it's actors, I know it's directed, I know it's a situation, but at the same time you believe in it and you go with it. You are introduced to this kind of world in his world, but you know that everything is fiction. Maybe in real life you wouldn't do that or see that. Not everything, but most of the things.
I think the theatrical thing also, what is interesting is that you always see people stepping up and stepping down. You always see the whole process. It's not like the normal way of cutting where you cut from one movement to the other, but you always see them coming, being there, going. That's all, the whole film.
All the costumes also, we can really see it's the archetypes quite certain.
So it's very open in a way in its regard to what images are constructed, what images are shown, because you just said people are going like in the scene, go out the scene. So there's a reflection about when does it scene begin or end and so on, or when do we like step in?
I think it's more about kind of giving you time to watch the whole process and making this process very important. It really takes everything that happens very, very important.
So it's not that kind of like self-reflexive meta cinema. Or would you? Okay.
I think it delves really into the genre, but at the same time it makes little kind of absurd jokes or something, or it makes a strange way of coloring, or it makes something very brutal happening or so, which then gives you kind of a meta view on what is happening. Also the time the time it takes to develop it and to let it go again makes you go away from the action in a certain way and kind of look at it from a farther point.
Yeah, okay, got it.
I think also artificial world. This came to my mind right now. It's super artificial.
Yeah, for also costume, as you said, like it's not concerned about being realistic or something. It's like costume, and it defines the character. It's not made for an illusion.
Yeah. But you were already talking about a lot of like aggression and violence happening there. Is this also a kind of like artificial violence, or is it shown as an artificial act, or how do this film depict like the violence and aggression you were already talking about?
I think there it really has a Tarantino touch, because it is quite brutal, it's quite hard, and in a bit of genre way, it does that more or less realistic, you know.
It's really close to realism in this case.
But it's exaggerated.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people die in this film.
Really?
Yeah.
So much?
Yeah. I don't know how many.
Oh.
Okay. And you see part of bodies, like head or hand.
So it's very like gory.
And you hear also, like in the beginning, what really struck me was the sound of like.
But is it so exaggerated that it is fun to watch?
I wasn't having fun, to be honest.
Okay.
I kind of had fun. And it's fun to watch it. Also, what is quite interesting is that also like if you see a cut off hand or whatever, this exaggeration, it's also in the voices. The voices are all dubbed. And they're very, very strong. You know, they're totally in the foreground, so it's all coming in your face, like a full throttle.
Okay, I see. But maybe we just stay with the man at the airport from the beginning. Who is he, and where does he fly?
He doesn't fly.
He doesn't fly.
He arrived.
Okay.
And where? Yeah, I want to give you something. You something. Yeah. When you asked me where I played. So there was one name, and it has to do something with this again, because this director always makes his reality in particular place.
Okay, so we're in Kazakhstan.
I mean it's a town or
it's a village.
Village, yeah.
I think so. I think so.
Where a lot of the films of the director happen.
Okay.
And he's coming there, but he's from there, I guess. I mean, the
director, by the way, has on his jacket was born in okay, I will say this name, Karatas. It's a village, Karatas, and director today I noticed he has on his jacket, so it's his sign. I suppose. So you can recognize the director if you can see something.
Okay, I will look out for him. So we're in Caracas, and there's this man. Do we stay with this man, or does the film more like concentrate on this space that you already described. So.
I think we shouldn't leave out the woman, right? There's the second kind of or one of the three main characters is a woman, and she's kind of the counterpart of the man, and she's also brought into the film in this stylized way, very, very stylized. I had to think of Zorro. Yeah.
And she's with kid.
Yeah, right.
She's a mother.
Yeah. She's a mother.
But not in a classic way, I think.
What does it mean?
Because there is no relationships like mother and son. They're more partners, I think.
Okay.
Like partners in crime.
Okay, so we have, I try to summarize. We have like this kind of Western mafia, very artificial kind of world that feels very theatrical. We have music in it. We haven't already discussed it, but we will. There is music in it. We have a very specific setting with this village and with the history of its village. And we have these three like main characters that feel not really out of place, but how do they relate to this village?
So the woman has a mission. I didn't get what the hero's mission. I will call him a hero because he's the hero for me in the film, and but I didn't to fully understand what's his mission or like if he has one or what's going on.
Well, I don't. Should we reveal that? I know a bit more because I've seen it 3 times now. So, so he's brought into the village because his brother is working for someone in the village, and his brother has asked him to come because he's such a good protector of people. He's kind of the perfect guard, which you don't think in the beginning because he looks so really run down and so on. But then later on, you can see that he's really good at guarding people.
And he's alcoholic.
And he's a total alcoholic.
Okay, alcoholic guards. How does he guard the people that he works for?
He has total control.
What does it mean? How does it show?
Everything, like he has like somebody attacks and he's not even touched. Like, you know, he deflects immediately. He has total control of every situation.
Yeah, and he can foresee where dangers appear, and he always knows how to prepare and what to do if situations get really bad. So he's always quite in charge.
And he doesn't negotiate.
But is he like, I just want to get a feeling of him. Is he kind of like the lonesome guy who is totally in charge, totally in control, doesn't depend on other people? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So kind of toxic, toxic person. Okay.
Although we don't know if he's toxic. We know he's kind of toxic. Yeah, he's kind of hurt.
He's toxic. And he loves make people dance.
Oh yes,
I think it helps him to relax how people dance.
But towards the woman, he's not so toxic, right?
I think he never touched them, or I don't know, maybe touched, but quite very bad way.
Okay.
This is how I felt. He felt something to this mother because of his past. This is how I connected that. But I think he's quite the way he closed the door, or how he looked.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. I didn't read that as much.
And he killed his brother, so.
Yeah.
And what is the brother doing?
The brother's working for the main guy.
Brother is always afraid of everything.
Yeah.
Not sure, but he's so cute. I know this person. He's such a cute person. And all the film, it was always distracting me from the film. I was like, oh.
Does our hero, I turn my borrow from you, does our hero sometimes doubt himself?
Yeah, he does.
what especially does he doubt? Does he doubt his work, or
it felt more he was suffering from some memories or for something coming up from his, like,
he has some wound.
Yeah, exactly, which comes up, and and at this moment he is lost a bit in his suffering, or this moment, let's say, and you see tears in his eyes. That's why you can imagine how tragic it was.
I think he's suffering that he's into the same process again that he was before, where he killed this woman and her child, and now he's back into this game where he has to do that again.
So about the doubt is also, he doesn't want to be a killer, he wants to be a protector, but he's not working for a good person. So
but at the same time he doesn't give a fuck about anything, so I think it also says a lot about his pain, because he has nothing to lose.
did you root for him?
This is I understood this kind of work assignment, but I didn't feel it, so that's what I meant when I said I don't know what his mission really is, because I didn't, rooting for him would imply that he wants something, and I didn't understand if he wants something, so I couldn't root for him really. I was curious about him, I would say.
So in a way, he is not transparent. Not as a negative thing. I feel like this is very interesting if there is something that you don't get or cannot fully understand or something. So he stays cryptic a bit.
Well, I think there's quite a bit of characters like him in film history who kind of lost belief in the world and lost kind of their rooting, and they kind of just have died inside. And then they come to a new situation which asks them again to feel or to decide for or against feeling. And that's maybe what happens too in this film. But I would agree, I didn't root so much either. And that's also because I think the film is not done in a way that you really, because the whole pace is so slow, and it emphasizes all these actions, also the citations of other films so much, that you really get into this meta state of watching. At least it was for me that way. So I don't really root so much for the characters. I'm kind of interested in how it will play out. I'm interested in what will happen and so on, but I don't identify so much. I don't know how you felt.
But also very interesting thing about this director and his way of working is, in most of his films that I watched, is like very simple stories, as simple characters as this guard. It's like quite simple, this macho vibe, he knows everything, he feels everything, that he never gonna die, this kind of things. And the stories, you kind of know what's gonna happen, or you understand everything because it's familiar to you. It's not like, oh, I didn't expect that. But I think the secret and talent of this director is how he shows these things. That's why we use the word theatrical. Maybe it's not, don't go there too much. It's just on surface, I would say, the method maybe. And how he does it, and how he uses these costumes, all these artificial things. And I like how he always works with spaces, how he works with the production designers, how he makes things using the ethnical things you can recognize, animals, bones, music instruments, everything, the figures, even Deva Maria was there. So, it's a huge symbols, right? You watch, and this is, I think, why we focus always on one frame, because every frame has something to say. Like, he has everywhere details everywhere. So I think that's why you quite deep into every shot, and because it says something. And as I know, this director works a lot with these symbols, and when I worked with him, he was very inspired. We were talking a lot about painters and the works, does it mean, this scene, or what does this scene means? That's why I think his framings, that's why this artificial putting the people like in certain positions plays a role, because I think he also think in this way. At least for me, this is how I perceive his film.
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned like a lot of details and elements, the music, the color, the space. We didn't talk about the camera work so much, but maybe we will just do that before we also want to ask the audience. What is the relationship of the camera to what it shows, to the characters, to the people, to the surroundings? Is there a special moment, a special shot that you remember in regard to the relationship to the camera?
For me, in the beginning, the camera was really like slowly introducing all the characters, because showed only parts like feet or the head, or like approaching very from an unusual perspective also, and revealing kind of the character, and yeah, then later I think there were so many things happening that I got a bit distracted from paying attention to this to camera work. But maybe you can say something.
Yeah, I would say it's quite a genre camera which focuses. You see boots stepping for a long time. You see central perspectives of places where you always see the whole width of this landscape, or of a certain form in the landscape. You see the way it's lit is quite also genre-wise. You also always have this lighting which kind of picks out the form in comparison to the background. So it's I think it's someone who studied genre film in a deep way, and and I think a lot about is kind of getting a copy of what we know and doing it a bit different, and then breaking it at a certain point, so that we reflect on what it was, what we know, and if we have perceived it the right way, if we've seen genre the right way, or if it's funny, or if it's toxic, So I think that's part of the strategy, because he goes along with the genre all the time, again and again and again, and then it either gets too long, or something funny happens, or or the camera does another point of view, and we somehow see it in a different way, or suddenly nothing happens. We come over a hill and it is nothing there, and we just walk around, and so it's always breaking our view of what we thought we knew.
Also, like the third character, which we didn't reveal, which was like an important character in the film, is like the mafia boss, who's a politician, and he's completely afraid also of enemies and like being killed. And there's one shot that's also I remember really lively, is like a little car for children, like that they play with, like a battery. How do you say, like I don't know. Yeah, with remote control, thanks. And the camera is on the height of this car. There's like a evil Lego figure on it, and then you follow this car. It's really cool.
Thank you. Are there any questions or observations from the audience? We can't see you quite good, but if you have a question or remark, just raise your hand and someone will come to you with a microphone. There is one question.
Thanks so much. I was wondering, sorry, this is a specific question just for you, because I think you got the in-depth perspective of the different languages. How did you feel that Kazakh and Russian were being used in the movie? How did you feel about that? Especially with which characters used which language at what points?
Quite organic, because it happens It's our reality we live in. We speak both languages. And I didn't even notice this change, I understand that it was interesting when Anna started speaking, the character started speaking Kazakh, which was like something where I was like, okay, that's interesting. And she has no accent, almost. And then she switched to Russian, and everybody understands Russian. It's quite no question at all. But what I really got was that, as I remember, like when we were working also together, we made film in Russian. At that time, it was 10 years ago. So now I really enjoyed watching that Adilkhan made this film in Kazakh language, because this is our reality.
I thought it was really funny that all the swear words are Russian.
Yeah, it was, by the way, it was annoying me all the time, because I really hate when men talk like this, and he was singing also and saying these words, and then I was like, I really hate that, but yeah, this is what we have.
But I think this singing part, when he comes from talking to singing, I think that's really marvelous. I really love that, because I've never seen anything like that, and it's really intense. I liked it. It's a special thing where he kind of emphasizes something he wants to say by turning it into singing, and that's very strong.
I mean, you hang on his lips anyways, because he doesn't talk much. Like, this hero doesn't talk much, and when he says something, you're like, oh, what he's gonna tell us? Like, what is something like, because he gives instructions. And they're very pragmatic, and but then sometimes he says something else, and then, like, as you said, then something happens, like he transforms.
This is interesting. I'm very sorry. I love this actor very much, and I really respect him. But it was exactly the moment I really hated, to be honest. Yeah, it was unnatural for me, and I saw actor playing or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe also it's something from our culture. You saw there was a lot of singing. I don't know. It was something out of character for me. I know it's like thing you can use to make this balance between this bad guy and the guy who sings. It can be really interesting, but at the same time, this was the moment when I saw actor but not the character.
I think I remember an earlier movie.
Please don't translate this. I'm joking.
Of the director, and we have the police in the car, in the back of the car in Ulbolsin, and they sing "I Feel Love." Like, these policemen, Kazakh policemen sing "I Feel Love," and it's very funny because they go like. It's the same kind of, it's a bit of cringe feeling also.
Yeah, I think also it has a lot to do with me knowing these people. I cannot detach, I'm sorry, and I think it has a lot of influence on me. I mean, you never saw these people before, and it's for you, it's, of course, it's on the screen, it's the characters, but I also know them from live, from Instagram, wherever, and I really feel
for me it's different. I mean, I don't know the people as for sure, but I mean, if you go out on the street and we see homeless people, for example, it happens quite often. They talk to you and suddenly they start singing. They just prolong their sentence by going into making some kind of song, and I kind of liked it because for me it was kind of a sign of him going crazy in a way, and or having to emphasize it like that. I don't know. It's always, when you hear foreign languages, you can't really judge about the acting because you can kind of feel if it's halfway all right, but I think in depth you can only tell in your own language. So I can't judge what you were saying, but I kind of liked it because of that.
Are there further questions or remarks from the audience? Because there's
So I got a question about a book which he had so in his package. Yeah, at the beginning it was Shakespeare. Yeah, it was Hamlet, and I tried to find out. Okay, are there some parallels between this story and Hamlet and one person which committed suicide? Quoted so that in Russian. So if I'm not mistaken, that was Pasternak's translation, but I'm not sure. And yeah, the question is probably, did you find some parallels? Because I did not.
And there were also some parts from.
Yes, sure.
Well, Hamlet is also about a state crisis and a lot of killing, and so maybe.
And the hero kind of going a bit mad about it, you know. But I had problems also, like you, connecting it too closely to Hamlet. I didn't.
I think it has a lot to do with power games, and also doubting yourself, as Hamlet does a lot, to kill or not to kill, like revenge. And I think this character also has, in like the other characters, like this woman, she knows what she's doing, but you are always asking yourself, is he going to kill this man or not, the mafia guy? Because this was like a perfect moment, because you never know what's his next step. And I think it has something to do, for me at least, with Hamlet, and that's why there was like this parts from it, because it was before the action, like question, to be or not to be.
So there is something existential about it, right?
Yeah.
And you were already also like drawing this parallel to Hamlet as like a state in crisis. And how far is in this movie the state in crisis, or the system that we see? Because there is for sure a lot of aggression, a lot of violence used to keep it going.
I think all the way it's totally in chaos. We don't even see any functioning state. We see an airport, which kind of is normal, but we don't see any normal police, right? We don't see. We only.
It's dictatorship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if there is police, they're not on people's side. Yeah. They're on this mafia side. Yeah, he's a dictator. This mafia guy. I think it's the most direct explanation of dictatorship, country or whatever.
Yeah, and I even thought about Stalin, like with purges and everything, because like everybody's getting killed. Also, people who are close to this mafia person, like he thinks they're traitors or something.
Here, of course, I have nothing to do with politics. Yeah. Okay, so please don't judge me. But it's just my impressions. I don't know how much people knows about situation, especially in Kazakhstan. I'm from there. I cannot speak for other countries, but you all know about Russia, what's happening in Russia, what happened. And I don't know how much you know about Kazakhstan. We're a post-Soviet country, and we had our first president who were on his power for 30 or more years and never give up until the end. And now we have a second one who is also trying to pretend he is not dictator, but I mean, I cannot say that direct, but the situation in government and also in country is not so beautiful. It's not about democracy, right? So I think this film has a lot to say about situation in Kazakhstan. That's why I'm saying it's absurd, because in any other genre of film, you cannot talk about this situations, about things that's happening there. So I think the director of this film found his very talented and correct way to talk about these things and go on big screens and share with people about the situation, what's happening. Because, yeah, of course, we can say details and blah, 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 we are beautiful, blah, blah. But in the end, this exactly simplicity of the situation you see on the screen, it's also simply happening in this country or in other countries. I mean, it's not about only Kazakhstan, it's also, about Germany. It's about every country who has this power and these power games. It's everywhere. It's America. It's everywhere.
Yeah, there's also references to Trump and the US, and then there's also this what you just said with the two dictators. There's one scene where one character says, like, what did you think? One dictator is gone and the next one comes. What else should come? So.
I was astonished how open that is said, because it really is a reflection about dictatorship or about the normal people in comparison to the people who are running the country or running whatever system there is. And it's very direct. I mean, it's totally open how the film says that. So I thought it's in that respect very brave, to address it in that totally open way.
I think it's, again, if we come back to Hamlet, sorry, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, right? It was like many years ago. Nothing's changed. The system, the tragic, what's happening in Hamlet, happening nowadays. We think we're going further, but still we're going back and back.
Are there moments of resistance in the film? Or is the resistance making this film?
I mean, the woman is the resistance. She's opposing the system and she wants to kill these horrible men.
Yeah, she makes a case for fighting for something that you find meaningful against the guy who's kind of disillusioned. But in the end, it's kind of also broken because they both start laughing, and you don't know if they really believe in it or not. So it also has kind of a question mark behind it.
But she's practicing to laugh with her son, like artificially, and I think his reaction. This is a reaction he has to any kind of emotion that is dangerous to him. He has the same reaction to his brother when he starts crying. He also laughs about him.
It's true.
And
maybe there was another.
Yeah, I think there was one. We have time for one question or remark, and then we have to. Hey.
Okay.
Then
hey, I was already. Hi. I already had the microphone. Sorry. So first of all, thank you for revealing us your thoughts. They're very interesting, and I kind of wanted to add one thing to one thing you said before, which was about the kind of motivationals of the main character. You described the issue of, or like having troubles understanding the motivation. You described kind of wanting an insight into his character, but I think for me it was more about kind of slowly learning about his like philosophy about the world, and then suddenly it created a kind of rooting. If you will break out of the situation, right? If you will do something against it. That was the kind of interesting breaking point for me, especially also in the surrounding system that you talked about, right? And I have a little question there, because for me, the moment I already thought about kind of this is probably what dictatorship, a system like that right in the beginning, but when Donald Trump was mentioned for the first time, that created like a kind of formal whiplash for me, but I liked it in a way. But it's like it's like a super stark contrast to the like visual language before, I feel. So I wanted to like ask you guys what you think about this like very big like formal stylistic contrast that was created by like directly addressing the like Tesla thing, the Donald Trump thing that was in there. I thought that was super interesting to me.
I had the feeling there were several signs like that in the film. We saw the Amazon crate being pushed into the Gazprom thing, and then we saw the McDonald's. So there were kind of signs like the McDonald, like the Donald Trump mentioning before. But I think it all kind of these references lead to a point which is kind of in the climax, which I find one of the most astonishing points, where this light starts to flicker, and they all don't know what to do. Kind of, they start pointing the guns at themselves, which is totally absurd. I mean, it comes
like a choreography.
Yeah, it's totally absurd. Comes from nowhere, because up to then it's always been that people aim at someone and they shoot and the person's dead. But there they kind of they become really distracted and don't know what to do, and then it leads into the final shooting. But that for me kind of adds up to this whole mentioning of real stuff because kind of the film gets away from its own story in a way. It detaches more and more, and then it comes to Donald Trump. It comes to all the real stuff that we're probably also a lot of Kazakh things that I can't read, but that are as real as mentioning Donald Trump.
And the woman killed everybody in the end and survived.
Maybe the woman is the hope that we take with
Which
us.
I believe.
Maybe. Our time is up, but I feel like the conversation is not. I feel like I got a glimpse of this film, but actually, like in my mind, I feel like I have like 18 films parallel. I have this like very Western-ish, then some kind of like, I don't know, Tom Hanks Terminal kind of idea of the beginning.
There's just one scene. Nothing happens in the airport.
I'm very interested in this woman actually, and then the child. But we will have to like continue the conversation like outside, or the team will go into the bar. You can also join us. Thank you very, very much for this experiment, and thank you also for sharing your thoughts. Have a good night. Thank you.